Welcome to the Thrive Singles Podcast. Whether you're single again or still single, stop hating being single and learn to thrive. This week's podcast is titled, Don't Be Desperate. Allow me, as a former, long-term, midlife, single-again man, to give you, as a currently single person, a very important piece of advice. Don't be desperate. All right? Desperate is not attractive. One of the biggest turnoffs for me as a single man was women who came off as desperate. Desperate is not attractive. Desperate says, I have no game, I have no self-worth, and I have no options. Instead of saying, love me for who I am, it says, love me because I don't think anybody else will. Please marry me or I'll die an old maid or a lonely old man is an offer most people can walk away from at a fast pace, or maybe a jog or an outright run. Aside from Jesus Christ, no emotionally and spiritually healthy person wants to be or is capable of being your Savior. That's a load no human being can bear. Emotionally healthy, well-adjusted, and self-confident people, in other words, people worth marrying, are repulsed by it. But there are some people who find it irresistible. So who finds desperation irresistible? Well, other unhealthy people, desperate people, codependent people, and predators. In other words, it's attractive to exactly the type of people you would never want to marry or even go out with. Other desperate people will be attracted to you because they figure they have a shot with you. You're desperate too. Codependent people will be attracted to you because they're sure they can fix you. They can save you from your desperation and loneliness. Of course they can't. Those type of relationships, well, they just end badly. Predators will be attracted to you because they know in your desperation you'll overlook red flags that would scare off healthier, more confident people. As I hinted in the previous section, desperation leads to bad decisions. It'll lead you to date or even marry people you shouldn't, and people you never would have before the desperation set in. Predators love finding and taking advantage of people in that condition. This could mean taking advantage sexually, or it could mean taking advantage financially. This happens often to desperate people because they feel so lucky that anybody pays them attention that they overlook the warning signs healthier people see. It also leads to another bad decision, settling. Let me paraphrase a popular quote. Sometimes the minimally acceptable is the enemy of true desire. A person who feels they lucked out to have the attention of anyone, well, they're not going to wait for the type of person they really want. Out of desperation, they settle for less than what they really desire and less than what they deserve. So just don't go there. Yes, it's hard not to get desperate as the months and the years pass by. I know because I lived it. I battled through it. The thought that kept me scared straight, honestly, was the thought of marrying the wrong type of person and going through another divorce. In my mind, I was better off single than in a bad relationship. I've seen people give in to the desperation and the outcomes, they just haven't been good. Too many attractive, genuinely nice people end up getting hurt because they get tired of waiting and they get desperate. Don't let that be you. The best way to avoid that is by learning to thrive as a single person. That's what saved me from major relationship mistakes. That's why I offer the materials I offer on Thrive Singles blog at thrivesingles.com. And on this podcast, this is to help you thrive and avoid all the pitfalls of single life. And by thriving, I mean I built a life I enjoyed. I enjoyed it so much I wouldn't give it up for just anybody. Don't get me wrong. Now, there were times I had to act well-adjusted and content, even though deep inside I was getting restless. Because I was far from desperate, I was able to wait for and eventually marry a well-adjusted, nowhere near desperate woman who was able to contentedly wait for me. Like I said, there were times I had to act content. There is some wisdom in the fake it till you make it strategy. Even if at times you feel desperate, don't act desperate. It's unattractive, it's unhelpful. And as you do the things confident, happy people would do, they start to become part of who you are. Sometimes change has to come from the inside and work its way out. But sometimes it starts with habits and behaviors and works its way down. The best outcomes, though, happen when you work at it from both places at the same time. As you act less desperate, also do the work of adjusting your inner thoughts and attitudes. Feed your mind and spirit a steady diet of good, helpful material. The carefully chosen books I offer in the shop were invaluable to me as I learned how to thrive. Also, if you go to thrivesingles.com, check the resources tab. There's a lot of things there, a lot of it free. And these are things that helped me thrive while I was single and avoid desperation. So summing it up, desperation. It's unattractive to the right people. It is attractive to the wrong people. It leads to bad decisions. But you can fight it. Fight it by learning how to thrive. Fight it by building a good life. Sometimes you fake it till you make it. And always by growing as a person. So let me end with 2 questions. Number 1, how do you react to desperate people? And number 2, are you doing the things that lead to thriving as a single, or are you starting to slip into desperation? Think about it, and let's talk about it in the comment section on the blog site or on the Facebook page. If you found this podcast helpful, go share it with a friend. There's a lot of single people out there making the same mistakes over and over. Why not share this with them and bring a little light into their life? And why not subscribe while you're at it so you don't miss anything? I hope you enjoyed this week's podcast. See you next week. Till then, give this a like and go check out lots more at thrivesingles.com and thrive on.